Okay, so why have I chosen Zig as my main programming language in 2026? Despite there being many more, let's say, industry preferred languages like C, C++, Python, even Rust, why have I ended up on Zig? So I'm a first year math student, and I came to the conclusion I need to learn some type of programming language. And I decided I wanted it to be something low level, something that I'd actually be able to understand, as much as possible what the code's actually doing and on a hardware level. So that really left me with the choice between C and Rust. And then I saw Zig, something that sort of found a spot in between and has its own benefits. Primarily these, so the no hidden control flow, and even more, the no hidden memory allocations, which in my mind is what makes Zig, that's its standout feature. So specifically with all the AI tech at the moment, all the new models, a lot of them aren't compute bound, but they're memory bound. We can't physically fit enough memory to store these models close enough, and that's where most of the latency is. So I mean, with these really low level systems, we can't afford to have any hidden memory allocations, especially if matrix multiplication and you're calling a function 1,000 times a second, 1,000,000 times a second. If you're leaking any memory there or using any memory that you don't have to be, it's really gonna cost you the performance. So I think that's Zig's main standout feature. So the reason I wanted to go with a low-level language was because I think once you learn anything low-level, be it C, Rust, or Zig, it becomes a lot easier to pick up these higher-level languages and actually recognize what they're doing, and just understand them better. And I think they'll help you write better code for them. So yeah, I think if you haven't picked up any low-level language yet, I think it's definitely the route to go. And look, despite Zig not being the most employable language, every job I see, C, C++, even Rust, some of them, but mainly C and C++, main target, software skills. Can't say I've ever seen any, say, Zig developer, but that's part of the fun. I'm not learning the language just to get the job. I'm doing it for love of the game. I saw something the other day. What was it? Not performative programming, but programming for fun. Programming to enjoy it, and not just for money, not just for whatever jobs or whatnot, but really just doing it for love of the game. And I think that's where a language like Zig is really good, And another thing that I'm, really enjoying about learning Zig is because it's such a, I don't want to say unstable language, but such a new language. They're not afraid to change, some of the core implementations. I mean, in this latest release, they rewrote the entire I/O implementation. Which means you have to relearn everything, sure, but that doesn't take too long. What it does do, which is an interesting carryover effect, is all these LLMs that were trained on thousands of lines of Zig code. Now they've been trained on incorrect code. So you ask it for help or ask it to try and solve this problem. You don't stand a chance. So what does it do? It forces you to go into the docs. We got these beautiful docs. The standard which if you watch me building the text editor, you're gonna see a lot of time spent in the docs. standard.os.linux.tc get attribute. I think something about reading the docs and doing a language this way instead of just crying to a ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever the new hip model is, definitely helps you actually learn the language and develop those skills. So I don't know, I think, yeah, and look, I'm enjoying it. I spent a bit of time learning Python and a little bit of time starting at C, and I don't know, C++ as well. Just never enjoyed writing it, but as soon as I started Zig, it was an enjoyable experience. Which is funny, because I wouldn't say the syntax is exactly like, and you can see it there, it's not exactly clear or easy or anything, but I don't know, I've enjoyed it so far. And Andrew Kelly, the lead developer, or head of Zig, whatever you want to say, seems to be quite the bright software engineer. So look, I have faith in it, and I think it's an interesting project, and yeah. So that's the main reason, and it's just, you know, for love of the game. We're not here to get the $10 million quant programming, quant dev, quant trader. Nah. You know, we're here to enjoy the language and make something good.